So I want to talk about a new lens I just upgraded from, if you want to call it upgrading, I guess. But it's something that I feel will do a little bit better for especially what I like to do, what I shoot. And I just wanted to talk about it and kind of give the difference between the f4 and the f2.8 model. Kind of common sense, but let's look at the newer Canon 16-35 f2.8 version 3 and just to really see what it does, because I got to start using this thing. So I'm actually a big fan of f4 lenses because of what they provide. They're normally less weight and they're fractionally less expensive as well, which is always a great thing. And they do give great image quality, because even a lot of lenses at 2.8 are not sharp wide open. That's just a thing. You wish they always were. And there are select few that are really great at while you're wide open. But that being said, I had the f4 for a while. I felt that I needed just a little bit more because I've been in some darker situations filming some things, and I just needed that extra reach. But like as I said, I really enjoy shooting f4. And even when I have this 2.8, I'm probably gonna live at f4 at times as well, but having that little bit more reach does help if you really need it. So this right here is the 16-35 f2.8 version 3. Now, it comes with all your typical stuff, your like year or now 13-month warranty and everything like that, plastic lens hood. But a couple of the big things that I noticed is that it really kind of mimics what the 24-70 feels like. It's actually probably about the same size, and that's, once again, that comes down to what the f4 was. It's a bit lighter, it's a bit sleeker, but I mean, this thing is just screaming build quality, and it better too, because the f4 16-35 from Canon is roughly about $900, where this is about $1,000 more. So you really have to look at yourself and justify if that's really what you want. Once again, this is a 2.8, and you don't have the image stabilization in this as well. For the wide angles, I typically don't need them, just because I really don't. But, you know, that being said, here you go. So I actually put this on my Canon next to really test the autofocusing and everything as well, so that way you can see that. But just feeling it in my hands, it really doesn't matter about the battery. It is obviously definitely a little bit heavier, but it feels way more professionally built in that regard. It doesn't feel as plasticky, even though there is plastic on the outside. It just feels like there's quality to it, which is always a great thing. And you get the 82mm mount, which is great because the 24-70 has that, whereas the f4 has a 77mm. So I wasn't always able to use my filters to the greatest extent, because if you use some of the rings, you may get some vignetting, naturally because of how they step up or step down. I just need to get something that fit more in my ecosystem. That's why I went with something like this, but this feels great. It feels great in the hands. It's not too overly big like some of the other lenses out there where they're really, really thick. But this lens right here really just looks good. It feels good. And I'm going to be taking it out on the streets to really test it out, and I'll give my thoughts on that. And I have an f4 video coming soon as well, talking about that lens and probably why it's one of Canon's best, most versatile lenses, especially for the price, as long as you don't want to shoot like portraits. So the thing I like about the 16-35 is that it really does internal focus, so you don't see it move. You know, you don't see the barrel sort on the outside, you see it kind of here in the hood. And that just helps, and the autofocusing is actually very fast. And even on an adapter, I have this on the Comlight adapter, even if I test, it's not loud, it's not overly obnoxious, and it works very well, especially with the ultrasonic motor that Canon puts in their newer lenses. Now let me throw this lens on there, replace the 24-70, just that way you can see how it autofocuses and really just go from there and see how loud it is, if that's a concern of yours, if you want to vlog or shoot YouTube videos. The skin tones might be a little off because I'm literally right in front of a big light source, but this is here right now at 16mm. I'm just trying to leave some room so that way you can hear how the autofocusing is. I have a Rode VideoMic Pro mounted right above it, so that way it might pick it up. But it's shotgun, so it really only is really, you know, directional. But you know, it seems to be tracking very well. Side to side's always the easier test, really, but it's always when you go from here to here, and it picks up pretty smoothly using Canon's dual pixel AF. So that's at 16mm. Now this is at 35mm. So once again, I'll track around, I'll go backwards, see if it tracks, and then I'll come up really close quickly, see if it pulls, and there you go, there it pulls. So that's really it. That's the 16-35 2.8 version 3. Just my quick hands-on first impressions and the AF test, which a lot of people like to see, especially myself, because when you're buying lenses, you want to see how it is, especially when you're moving around. It's very quiet too, so which is absolutely great. I'll actually have a full review of this sometime in the future, whenever. And do you really need to spend an extra like $1,000 to get something like this? You know, most likely not. you'll be fine with the 16-35 f4. But that about wrap this up. Any questions or comments about that? However you want to see this lens, let me know down below. And if you're a Canon user, any questions compared to the other lenses that are out there, like the $1,200, $1,300 options, and seeing, you know, what's a better choice for you. So let me know any questions down below. I'll have a video on this eventually. But this is a very quality lens for what I'm seeing.